Everyone, this is Professor Moneypig Trading, a former PhD drug researcher, now a data scientist and trader. Today is April 10, 2021. I want to make a brief video about the US stock market breakdown for next week. There are a number of events coming up for bank earnings, inflation, COVID-19, and Bitcoins. So let's take a look. A really quick, we're not financial advisors. This is just for education purposes. Please invest at your own risks. So first, we want to update is the most important chart in the market if you are investing stocks and also bonds. It's about Fed SOMA data, which provide us how much Federal Reserve put into their SOMA account balance, which they will use to buy back bonds and lower the TNX and stabilize the stock market. And we can see on the right side is the SPY price, which is also the black line. By week, and also the left side is the red line, which is Fed SOMA balance unit in $10 billion, and it's updated every Thursday. Last update was April 10, 2021. We can see, as we mentioned in the last video, which we'll provide the link down below, is Federal Reserve after a previous week of a reduced bank SOMA balance. Now they increase the SOMA balance, and we can see SPY accordingly have a really strong price action. Usually follow the week after this increase, we should see another week of increase like we see over here back to the end of early November. And we can see back to that time SPY actually had a really strong push just like this week. And in the following 2 weeks, SPY continued to push, and it actually never stopped until early December, which we remember was a pretty strong push. But remember, the end in the option expiration week, like November 20th, it was a little choppy. SPY barely moved, even though Federal Reserve continued to increase the bank SOMA balance. Or we might see a different scenario since the extent of increase of bank SOMA balance back to last year was a lot stronger. This year, March 18, Federal Reserve said they will increase another $120 billion extra money. So maybe we'll see a strong push like last year, or we might see, like this year, we'll see a very strong seasonal pattern. Like every month end, we're still going to see SPY start to push back down. And every 2 weeks, either at the end of each month or early next month, SPY will have a really strong push like we have seen the past 2 weeks. And then third week will be sideways consolidation, 4-week pullback, and following the next 2 weeks of push. So if that's the case, we might see this the January thing happen again, 2 weeks of push, third week kind of sideways consolidation, 4-week pullback, and then come back up again. So yeah, we have to continue to monitor the FANG SOMA balance. We actually have proprietary data to predict all the TNX, and also we post the bank Federal Reserve SOMA balance every Thursday on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also on YouTube. We have a video like this one, so make sure to follow us on all Moneypig Trading on different social media. And SPY next week is option expiration week. We can see, even though like we mentioned in the previous slide, SPY actually pushed up quite a bit, but however, in April, in the option expiration week, and also on the left side, and also in November, we can see both weeks are pretty choppy. SPY pretty much just up and down and up and down, up and down and up and down in both months. So it will make day trading and swing trading pretty difficult. So I would advise our Moneypig Trading members or anyone to reduce trading next week, focus on individual plays, and see how the market goes. And this week, we actually have a lot of events coming up. So April 11th, Powell actually will give a talk on the 60-minute show, which is a Sunday. He actually did the same thing in May. I don't expect any surprise. He will probably mention the same thing. Inflation will come up at the end until the end of this year, and then start to pull back down. They don't plan to increase the interest rate. They will continue to supply the money injection and stabilize the market. Blah blah blah. April 13, we're going to see the core CPI, and April 15, we'll have the numbers of economy data. These 4 events together with April 13 will greatly affect the TNX inflation perspective. So we'll have to monitor them, and potentially they're going to affect a lot on the growth stock and tech stock prices. And then don't forget, like we mentioned, April 16, Friday is the monthly option expiration date. So this week could be quite choppy. So traders beware of that. And of course, this week we are going to see bank earnings. So this is XLFs, is the ETF for the bank sector. We can see bank actually forming a bull flag like February this year. And you can see after this bull flag, XLF actually run quite a bit. and now pull back down and ready to push back up again if we can break the day regional high 35.29. However, there are several unknown cases. First is about the corporate tax rate, because Biden administration tried to push for infrastructure plan. They want to raise the capitals for the infrastructure plan, and they're proposed to increase the corporate tax rate. However, how much they want to increase right now is a big unknown. Some Democrat senates also voted no to increase corporate tax rate. So Biden, this week, he mentioned he's open to negotiate. So whether we'll increase it 28% or just increase it 24 or 25%, nobody knows. And in this kind of situation, how can we provide earning guidance for banks or even any other company, right? So it will be quite curious to see how this company are going to deal with the earning guidance. Are they going to provide one, or they're going to provide one with different tax rates potentially, or they're not going to provide any earning guidance, which usually will pull the stock price down quite a bit. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And also, I think the other key factor for the bank earnings following and also their stock prices, how much Federal Reserve will allow them to do share buybacks and dividend guidance for the bank names. And of course, the other one we have to look at is inflation, TNX. TNX, if continue to spike, we're going to see the financial outperform tech and growth stocks. So definitely 3 factors to keep in mind on the bank side. The other thing we have to keep in mind also is the COVID-19. These charts are getting from Google, and we can see those are daily COVID-19 cases in the United States. We're seeing the cases continue to drop starting in February. Now the curve is kind of flattened, mostly due to, I believe, wearing a mask and also the COVID-19 vaccination across the United States. However, worldwide, we're seeing a surge of cases like in Europe, also Brazil, and also some in India. And it's very different from the US. And I think that's one of the key reasons, like we mentioned in the previous video, pulling down a lot of oil names and opening names. I think for those names to start to rebound back to the upside, it's really we need to see the COVID-19 start to be contained and more countries start to reopen, hopefully soon. But however, there are several COVID-19 therapeutics breaking through or upcoming breaking through. This Friday, we're actually seeing the BNTX and Pfizer. They actually filed an FDA approval for their COVID-19 vaccine for teenagers, I think age 10 to 19 or something, or 18. So it's definitely a breakthrough, and you can see the BNTX price now forming a bull flag, breaking through, ready to test all-time high at 131. Definitely to take a look on it. And based on their clinical trial results and so far the massive vaccination performance, we won't be surprised that BNTX and Pfizer vaccine will be approved for teenagers. But however, that's just our personal opinion. Definitely need to wait for CDC and FDA for more details and approval. The other COVID-19 vaccine that we need to look at is NVAX. They should report their vaccine results in the United States pretty soon, possibly this week. And we can see after the previous good COVID vaccine performance in UK, NVAX actually went up quite a lot in January and had a huge pullback. Now I realize the reason the pulling back is because now even though NVAX got good vaccination results, and potentially, even though they got good phase 3 results, their FDA approval probably won't happen until a month or a month and a half later. And actually, for this year, a lot of COVID-19 vaccine order or contract opening season is almost closing. So even though FDA approved NVAX vaccination this year, they might not be able to get a lot of U.S. federal contracts. So that's one of the major reasons NVAX pulled back so hard. And also, I think traders, investors have concerns about NVAX, is like how effective they are to mutants, COVID variants. And since there are very good performing J&J, Moderna, and Pfizer vaccine in the market, a lot of investors also worry about the competition. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Whether NVAX will have a little bounce and then pull back down again. And also it really depends on their COVID vaccine clinical trial results. The other one to look at is Merck. Merck actually had 2 major COVID therapeutics coming up. They're going to report their phase 3 clinical trial results in Q2 this year. The first one, MK7110 is a fusion protein. It's actually the IV product. We don't know the results yet, but anytime in Q2, it should come out. And then the second one, MK4482, is an orally available drug. They actually announced the phase 3 trial results back to March 5th, and we can see Merck price actually went up about 10% in the course of about 2 weeks and a half. Now we're going to wait and see their complete phase 3 results and also potentially FDA approval in Q2 or Q3. So definitely keep an eye on the price action of Merck. The other one we're looking at is Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually is flagging to the upside on the daily chart, and you can see on the left there's a giant bull flag. I was not able to break the 61,000 price level, but once the breakthrough, we're going to see a huge continue to push back up. However, we might be able to see a bull flag breaking down, so we have the support 55,000 and about 50,000 as well. And if that level breaks, we might see this 40,000 level and 30,000 level. But yeah, we'll have to see. One thing I like and don't like about Bitcoin is it used to be a really good asset for hedging because it doesn't correlate with any assets. However, now we're seeing a lot of seasonality in Bitcoin during month end in pullback together with SPY and bank SOMA balance, like we mentioned in the second slide. So right now we're seeing more and more Wall Street capitals into Bitcoin, and now we're seeing this seasonality. So make Bitcoin more predictable, but at the meantime, it kind of loses the effect of hedging since now it's highly correlated with many different assets as well. And the other fun fact is Bitcoin trading right now on the daily or 15-minute chart follows VWAP band very, very well. Those are the sign that Wall Street algo traders are heavily trading on this name as well. So definitely something to keep in mind that Wall Street is pretty heavy in Bitcoin at the moment. And if Bitcoin is ready to break out, so does some Bitcoin miners like RIOT. RIOT right now is forming a wedge and it's ready to break either down or up. I think it's heavily depending on the Bitcoin price as well. The other name to look at is SOS. It's a Bitcoin miner. I know there's a lot of controversial topics on that stock. We'll probably make a more detailed video on SOS. Actually, I have a Bitcoin miner machine installation news supposedly come out this week, and also have a really high short interest, about 20%. If Bitcoin price can really break through, we might see SOS stocks start to break through as well. So definitely keep an eye on that one. So just want to highlight we're actually a really good long-term investment program in 2020. Winning rate is 89%, average return per trade is 18%. We also have a swing trading program on Discord, even though March was a little choppy. Winning rate is still as high as 60, almost 70%. Average return per trade is 34%. And if you haven't followed us on MoneyPig Trading, make sure you do so. We have Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram on MoneyPig Trading. And we just opened a Facebook group, MoneyPig Trading, as well. Actually, I forgot one slide about COVID vaccine. 19 Therapeutic is RIGL. Again, RIGL. It's actually have a drug coming up, and I think they should release their clinical trial results at the end of April. Their drug actually is an existing orally available drug as already. It's a tyrosine kinase inhibitor. So that drug safety and toxicity is not a problem. Right now, it just needs to prove its efficacy on COVID-19 or not. If it does, we can see that RIGL can have a breakthrough. Right now, it's traded up at about $3. If it's able to show good results, we should start to see a push up as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, and happy trading.